like it.
Association?
No.
Oh, I could delete it.
Oh, not delete, but as long as it doesn't have any of their, like, the videos of him performing.
Oh, up online. Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. No, I'm not going to upload them. I'll give them to you.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Alright. Peekaboo. A peekaboo kind of like a Pikachu, and some of you might even find it cute, but I am a Muslim and I am Middle Eastern, so I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that some of you actually heard me light a fuse, which then went peekaboom. You see, as Muslims, we never dispute the Lord's attributes. You either refute them as lies or accept it as truth, but that's not the feud. I cannot pretend to represent the entire crew, so allow me to break down the troops into groups as to review a few things that may have caused a scar or two in between me and you. We blindly accept what we hear and hence propagate this false notion of fear, even if we are sincere. So a mere misunderstanding left unclear gets blown out of the sphere onto the news frontier, and every passing year we have to deal with all the discriminatory jeers and sneers, and it gets harder and harder to adhere to what we hold most dear. We gotta peer cautiously, wait for the all clear. Oh no, I can't pray here. Exit through the rear and then poof, disappear. When I'm in a group, I really don't care, but when I'm by myself, I can't really bear when people stop and stare at my hair, but I can't really blame them. Perhaps they're just scared, but I swear that putting my forehead on the ground does not activate some kind of explosive flare. Maybe it's not the movements, maybe it's just the phrase that puts them in a daze when I praise and say, Allahu Akbar. And then they say, Islamic radicals, run away. Well, matter of fact is, it's our call to come together, stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and just pray to the one who blessed us with the darkness of the night and the brightness of the day. Allahu Akbar. God is great. We'll be criticized for saying this wonderful creed in times of need, yet everyone else always says OMG like 5 times a day, 7 days a week, but then they say no. It's just the manner in which we speak. You Muslims are still just freaks. Well, you wouldn't judge us so if you were to awake from your deep sleep. Check this. We love Jesus too, so we'll still turn the other cheek. There were plenty of misconceptions that we had when it came to jihad. The Holy War translation is false and meant to only cause trouble because the real translation belongs to the word struggle. And I'm not talking combat knives cutting flesh from the skin, because the real struggle is the struggle within. And if you see this alone as war cry to kill, then you have been misinformed. If someone told you that the Quran tells us to chop off your limbs, then you read it wrong. The Quran is more than song, more than just a bunch of words strung together to be long. It's more than just syllables to which you sing along. It's more than just a book that you set on the shelf to be gone. The Quran is a book that is meant to make you strong, not physically. It's a book which appeals more than just mentally. It heightens your spirituality, transcends this reality, because the Quran is a book of humanity. This was a book that was sent from above, that was accepted because the messenger started his mission with trust and love. It wasn't by push and shove. We think that Islam was spread by the sword, but we forget that Islam actually abolished misogyny, drinking, and slavery, and did it without starting any civil wars. And this may be something that you have not heard before, but we all learn to walk before we can soar, so let's stop guessing and start being sure. We propagate hate to our people and forget that in His eyes we are all equal. As if Christianity was a movie, then Islam would be kind of like the sequel. We forgot that there was a time when Muslims and Jews lived side by side. Crimes didn't have to diffuse into their divides. We all forgot what we had, what we left behind. We let ourselves fall victim to our pride. We turned away from our guys. We closed our eyes and became blind, denied and lied to ourselves, and said we weren't trying to hide, but our minds started to subside and we started acting snide. Stopped being kind, started to collide, started to provide reason for people to die, people to cry. We transferred and persecuted through them outside, and still our eyes went wide when some of them struck back at the towers, and then it was worldwide. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do know that most motives are hidden. Those terrorists did hijack planes, but they first hijacked my religion. I mean, how can you be a Muslim and cause all this suffering and pain? They claim to be on our track, but they are in fact on the opposite train. Salam means peace, just look at the name, so please don't blame the entire crew. Because we take shame in the fact that there are these so-called Muslims who would so wrongfully kill in God's name. Now, because of them, I'm detained, cuffed, and chained every time I decide to step on a plane, and every time I tell myself the exact same thing. Man, I knew I should have shaved. The stereotype is that we'll be calling you infidels, yelling and screaming, saying that you'll go to hell, but not me. I won't judge you because only God can tell, and if you don't believe in God, that's fine. You're my equal in creation, so I'll still pray for you as well. Let's rebel against hate and spread some love. May the blessings of the one true Creator shine down on you. So, salamun alaikum, and peace be upon you.